My thoughts, my opinion. Sports podcast.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to another episode of MTMO Sports Podcast, Doug. This is now my 146th my 146th thought, my fault. And yo, this is going to be another dope episode that y'all need to tune in, you feel me? But let me tell y'all what the topics is going to be about. We're going to sit here and talk about DK Metcalf requesting a trade out of Seattle, where I think he might go, or if he might go, yo. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all get ready, sit back, hit the comments, so you can also tell me your ideas of where you think DK Metcalf might end up going. We got two edge rushers. That's one that's already in the free agent market, and there's one that's looking for a trade. Joey Bosa and Trey Hendricks. I can't wait to talk about what's their possibilities, where they might end up at, or if one of them might even stay put. I'm also going to be giving my opinion about the NBA's MVP as the season is winding down. I'm tired of everybody keep on sliding my guy down behind Jokic, so I'm going to go ahead and give him his flowers today on this show, and I can't wait to sit here and talk about him and give y'all my reason why I think he is the MVP this year, yo. But before I go any further, yo, if you're not already, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to this channel as I'm trying to reach to my mini goal of 1,000 subscribers. And I guarantee you, Doug, yo, this is the show that you going to need in your rotation. You feel me? So make sure you go out here and tell a friend who can possibly be a friend who wants to be your friend that, yo, MTMO Sports Podcast is these podcasts that they need in their rotation as well. You feel me? So make sure y'all go out here and spread the word, yo, as I'm sitting here trying to grow to my mini goal. And like I said, yo, I talk about all the dope topics that's going on in the sports world, whether it's the NBA, NFL, WNBA, NCAA, women's and men. So make sure y'all go out here, spread the word. Make sure y'all go out here and also subscribe if you didn't already. Also, if you're not already known to the nonprofit organization that I am part of, please make sure y'all go out here and follow Walk a Mile in Our Shoes and all social media platforms, as this nonprofit organization is starting to grow more and more as we are getting out here to help the less fortunate and help the kids and into what their needs are. And like I say, yo, this is a real dope organization that I want everybody to start follow this movement. Yo, we are here in Baltimore. They are also in Trenton, New Jersey, and Newark, New Jersey. So make sure y'all go out here, support, follow their all their social media platforms is also under the ticket with my social media platform. So please go out here and follow this great movement as we sit here and try to grow and help out as much as we can in our communities. All right, the business part is out of the way. Let's talk about some sports, Doug. Yo, so in the NFL, if y'all have not been paying attention, the NFL is kind of buzzing to me, and it's been buzzing for about 2 weeks now. Last show I talked about how Myles Garrett wanted to get out of Cleveland Browns and where I believe he was going to end up at. Now we got some more players that's also in the free agent market and that's also requesting a trade, yo, and this ain't like the NFL. The NFL ain't really had these many trade requests or releases in quite some time. And honestly, in my opinion, yo, it seems like the NFL is trying to be the top drama, the top entertainment of the sports world, because that's what they've been these last couple of days, these last couple of weeks. So the first guy I want to talk about is coming out of Seattle. DK Metcalf. Says he wants to trade out of Seattle. Pretty much said he's done. He's not happy. He's ready to move on to a different situation. He also still has 1 year left on his contract. But DK Metcalf said he's done with Seattle. He tired of the rainy weather. He rather go somewhere where the weather can kind of change. in his eyes. You feel me? Not all his words, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because Seattle is kind of on a rebuilding kind of stage a little bit. It's like they're not fully rebuilding, but they most definitely changing some pieces. And them pieces is most definitely in the wide receiver room, because now, just a couple of days ago, they released Tyler Lockett, which is pretty much almost like a long-time Seattle Seahawk. You feel me? He was been with the Seahawks ever since he was drafted. What it was like 8 years ago, 9 years ago. So that was just crazy, like how, you can see they ready to bring some fresh faces in that wide receiver room. And DK Metcalf was probably like, well, it's time. I want to move on. And once Seattle found wind of DK Metcalf requesting a trade, they was a little pissed, because they was more pissed of like, how you gonna request the trade after we just sat here and released Tyler Lockett? Like, dog, what's going on here? Well, since you doing that, then the Seahawks came out and said that, well, we want a first and a third for DK Metcalf, and we'll entertain y'all offers then. And I'm like, damn, a first and a third for this upcoming draft, maybe, or next year's draft? Is DK Metcalf worth it? And I had to look at last year's numbers. Granted, he missed 2 games last year, but DK Metcalf had a down year in my eyes. Well, not a down year, because when it comes to receptions, he was pretty much even, but he was more explosive last year. This year, he played 15 games, as I alluded to. He had 66 receptions, 108 targets, 992 receiving yards. He was averaging 15 yards per reception. He had 5 touchdowns. His longest reception of last year was 71 yards. He had 35 first downs for the Seattle Seahawks. And he was the number 2 wide receiver behind what's his name? Jackson. I can't really forgot his name, but the second year wide receiver for the Seahawks. He was the number 2 wide receiver to him. And I'm looking like, now I'm starting to look like that's not worth a first and a third in my eyes. So I had to go back and look at last year's numbers. Last year's numbers, he missed 1 game last year. He also had 66 receptions. He had 119 targets. He had 1,114 receiving yards, was averaging 16.9 receptions, had 8 touchdowns. His longest last year was a 73 reception yards. He had 52 first downs. So I was like, you had the same amount of receptions, about half less of the targets, and you missed, 1 more game than you did the year before. I would at least thought you would have been a 1,000-yard guy. So it's not that what Seattle was asking for. It's not worth it. I wouldn't personally do it. I know teams are probably still like, well, he's still a top 15 wide receiver in my eyes, because I don't believe I had DK Metcalf in my top 10 wide receivers, and I didn't when I started this year off. And I still don't have DK Metcalf as a top 10 wide receiver in my eyes. It's no disrespect. I believe that he's a good wide receiver. Possibly he maybe be better at being the number 2 than being the number 1. It's no disrespect, because I still believe he fits in this league. I still believe that he can help a team out if a team really needs a wide receiver. DK Metcalf he is still one of the fastest wide receivers in the league. He is still one of the strongest wide receivers in the league. So I just don't put DK Metcalf in the elite status or as one of the the top 10 wide receivers right now. Like I said, I give him top 15. He's most definitely in the top 20. But I can give him top 15, and And I think that this is Seattle's plan to keep DK Metcalf there. I think that's why they kind of asking for a first and a third, in my opinion. So I just really just think that this is Seattle's scheme to say, nah, Doug, you're gonna live out to your contract, and then next year once you're a free agent, it's whatever. Or right now, we can go ahead and let you see what your trade value looks like. But if it's not what we asking for, you gotta live out to your contract. You still under contract with us, so we still kind of in the upper hand for Seattle is what they are thinking. And another reason why I think that Seattle is asking for the asking price of DK Metcalf is simply because there is a shit ton of wide receivers in this free agent pool, this upcoming free agency, yo. It's a lot. Now, a lot of them is probably not the guys that you can automatically just pop them in and then they are taking your team to the whole next level. No. No disrespect to them, but I believe that you put these guys in the right system, these guys can really flourish their skills. These guys can help out a team then. But if you're trying to force them to be your top guy, your number one guy, I don't think that's where it's at, because no disrespect, that's what happened to Devontae Adams last year with the Jets. You tried to force him to be your top guy. And I believe that Devontae Adams can potentially still be your number one here and there, but you got to put him in the right system. And what the Jets had last year was not the right system for Devontae Adams. Because speaking of Devontae Adams, he's also one of the wide receivers that's in the free agent pool. You got Devontae Adams. You got Tyler Lockett. You got Chris Godwin coming back from injury. You also got Stephon Diggs coming back from injury. You got Amari Cooper. You got DeAndre Hopkins. You got Hollywood Brown. You got Brandon Cooks. You got Darius Slayton. You got Mike Williams. You got Deontay Johnson, KJ Osborne, DeMarcus Robinson, Matt Hollins, Tyler Boyd, Elijah Moore, Two-Way, Juju Smith-Schuster, Nick Westbrook-Ikini, Tim Patrick, Josh Palmer, and I'm pretty sure there's more. Now, like I said, some of the names that I was naming probably not going to be your elite guys that can get you over the hump. If you can put Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, and Keenan Allen in the right systems, yes, they can flourish. They can help your team out. And also, if you got good quarterback, number one, that's going to play a part. And if that wide receiver room is decent, they can really help out, and they can also mentor some of these wide receivers, young wide receivers. So that's where I kind of see. Now, you got your Stephon Diggs and your Chris Godwin, who's coming back from injury. Now, they probably not going to be on the field right away, or they probably going to be on a snap count. But they can still help out a team once they come healthy and become, almost halfway the player that they used to be or they were before this injury. So, like I said, these wide receivers, put them in the right predicament, right space, it's going to flourish. So now let's go back to DK Metcalf. Where do he fit in through all that? Especially with the asking price that you are asking for him. So, in the crazy world, let's just say a team did go ahead and gave Seattle the asking price for DK Metcalf. What would be a good team for DK Metcalf to go to? And it was very, very, very hard to kind of figure out what team he would really fit with. But then I started seeing a lot of comments, people saying, what about the Chargers? That would be a good scheme for him. That would be a good situation for him. And then I was like, nah. You know why it wouldn't be a good fit for him to play with the Chargers? Greg Roman is there. And like I said, Greg Roman is a good offensive coordinator. He know how to come up with some good schemes, but we already know that Greg Roman is a run-first coordinator. So I don't really see that him fitting with the Chargers is a good fit for DK Metcalf. But I thought about the Houston Texans. I say that the Houston Texans are a good fit for DK Metcalf. Hear me out. The Houston Texans have a good quarterback in CJ Stroud. They having problems to keeping their guy Tank Dell healthy. And it's probably going to take him almost probably about mid through the season to be healthy again and to be Tank Dell. You know what I mean? And he's also probably going to be on snap counts until about almost the end of the year. So they're going to baby step Tank Dell. Nico Collins need help down there, yo. You feel me? So if I'm the Houston Texans, I will go out here and reach and maybe consider thinking about giving up the first and the third for a DK Metcalf. Because you got a young CJ Stroud. We seen that CJ Stroud struggle and kind of hit the sophomore slump last year. And if he can kind of get some more help down there with him, I think that we can see a better CJ Stroud. And then now you can help Nico Collins, and you can help, I forgot the other young wide receiver that they also have down there. But now DK Metcalf can potentially be, 1 minute you're 1 and 2. They can flip-flop because we've seen that Nico Collins is also explosive. So 2 explosive wide receivers on the same field, Doug. Woo! With a CJ Stroud arm, because CJ Stroud got a strong arm and got good accuracy. So I really can see the him fitting in with the Houston Texans. Appreciate it, my guy, yo. Appreciate you, man. So I really just think that the Houston Texans might want to go ahead and pick up the phone and dial in and see maybe you can negotiate this trade, because I think that will be a good fit for him down there. Because like I said, with that offense, with Joe Mixon as your running back, like I said, you already got a good wide receiver and Nico Collins down there, and then also now we already know that the Houston Texans defense is pretty good. It's pretty solid, especially behind DeMeco Ryans. Even though he is the head coach, but we already know he's a defensive-minded guy. So I really just think that the Houston Texans should go down here and make this call for DK Metcalf. You know what I mean? Try to see what you can get. So that's my prediction, yo. So let me know in the comments if y'all think otherwise. Or tell me what y'all think about that. That prediction right there. But and all in all, that was just if. I still think that he's gonna play out his contract with Seattle. Like I said, I really don't see teams really biting in to what they are asking for. You feel me? I also seen that in the comments, my guy. Shout out to you. To the Pats. I think that that also would be a good look for him, because the Patriots got some monies. They also can go ahead and give him an extension with that with this last year on this contract. And with the young quarterback that they have up in New England, I think that DK Metcalf can help him out and help him grow. So that I think that's a good fit. And now you get Mike Vrabel as your new head coach. I think it would be a decent fit for him down in New England. I also just think that wide receivers is not your only thing that y'all also need to grow up on. I think y'all still need to add more pieces to actually make this a good trade fit for DK Metcalf, but I think that would be a good move. DK to the Patriots. But I really just think that the Houston Texans will be a good fit also. So there go two scenarios that I can kind of see. But the overall scenario that I really see that's going to happen is that I think he's going to ultimately stay with the Seattle Seahawks. Just my opinion. All right, let's go to the next topic, yo. This next topic is we're going to be talking about edge rushers of the NFL. These two guys is one of these guys was the sack leader last year. Was this relentless when it came to him getting to the quarterbacks. Like the numbers and the pressures that he did last year, yo. I'm shocked. Well, I'm not shocked, but what I'm shocked about is that Cincinnati just don't build around that. So I'm gonna wait to talk about that one. But the one that kind of I seen it kind of coming as the years was coming was the Los Angeles Chargers released the last San Diego Chargers player that was drafted, and Joey Bosa. And Joey Bosa, he's a good player. You know what I mean? Was when he first came into the league, yo, Joey Bosa was a monster, dog. Like was killing quarterbacks, you know what I mean, his first year. And only thing about Joey Bosa, Doug, is that he's always injured, yo. He always hurt. And that's his downfall, in my opinion. Is that he's not around when you really need him. And what I mean by that is that, let me get this stat real quick for y'all. You know what I mean? I don't want y'all to think I'm out here capping or nothing like that. But Joey Bosa has played 107 games in his career. Joey Bosa has also missed 41 games in his career. But in his career, out of respect, and out of why I say that Joey Bosa is a still good player, that he also got 72 sacks in his career too, dude. So it's like I can see why the Chargers went on ahead and got rid of him, but I don't see why the Chargers went on ahead and got rid of him. Because, Khalil Mack was kind of in and out the year. Also, well, he was also contemplating about retirement, number one. So I really just think that now, since he didn't retire, this is the reason why Bosa released. This is the reason why Joey Bosa got released. So last year, Joey Bosa played 14 games. And this is the most games he played since 2021. Because 2022, he only played 5 games. 2023, he only played 9 games. So this is where I told you, this is where I see why they went on here and released him. But he only had 5 sacks last year. And 1 forced fumble. 1 fumble recovery also. And it's like we already know, and we already should know the slogan when it comes to ability. Your best ability is availability. If you're not available, Doug, you're no longer good to our service. And that's what the Chargers did. They went on ahead and cut him and released him. And like I said, I see why. You can't trust him. You don't know if he's going to be there or not. But like I said, in his time there, he got 72 sacks in his career. And I'm pretty sure that's like up there in the most in Chargers history. So if he was able to do that in just 105 games, what can he do to keep, to stay healthy and be ready? I just think that now Joey Bosa is what in his he was drafted in 2016, going into his 10th year, 9th year for real, going to his 9th year. I don't think that Bosa is now your every down edge rusher. I think that whatever team picks him up, don't get me wrong, he's going to be effective, but if you can keep him fresh throughout the season, I think that that's where you can see the most and you can get the best out of Joey Bosa. And don't get me wrong, I would take a Joey Bosa on our team, on the Ravens. Him and the Kyle Van Noy, oh man, that'd be good. And also, it depends on if we gonna re-sign Oway back. That rotation would be dope. You feel me? So I just think that would be an okay move if the Ravens would go ahead and do that. Come on, Ravens. Let's make some moves soon. I understand we ain't got the most money in the cap, but I think we can make it work grabbing him. But honestly, in my opinion, what I see from Joey Bosa, I think he's going to wind up playing right alongside with his brother. I think he's going to be playing in San Francisco, in my opinion. I really think that that's going to be the best move and a safe move for him. And, his brother Nick can probably go ahead and tell, his brother Joey, like, look, yo, you can go ahead and get a nice discount here, yo. You ain't got to really go get a house unless he got a family, But if you ain't got a family, you can come live with me, bop, bop, bop. It's all good. So, and I think that would be almost like a kind of scary scenario. Now, it all depends on what the San Francisco defense is going to do with Greenlaw, because he's also up here in the free agency pool, if I'm not mistaken. So if you can, but you still got Warner as as your linebacker. So I really just think that Joey Bosa is going to probably wind up playing alongside with his brother Nick Bosa. I think that's going to be the scenario out of that. Now, another edge rusher is asking for, well, he ain't Joey Bosa. He ain't getting cut, but this edge rusher has requested a trade. And I see why he requested a trade, Doug. And my guy, Trey Hendricks, has now requested a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals. And honestly, I think that this is out of frustration of what the Bengals are doing right now, because the Bengals not looking to revamp or retool that defense. The Bengals only looking at one side of the ball, and that's the offensive side. They went on here and slapped that highest franchise tag on T. Higgins. Gave him the franchise tag for the second year. You got to go out here and pay big bucks to Jamar Chase after having a Triple Crown year. And I'm pretty sure they're going to try to look to build around that offensive line so Joe Burrow won't keep getting sacked. So Hendricks said, you know what? Y'all going to spend all that money on the offensive side, and you just seen Sam Hubbard just retired on us. That was the guy that played on the other side of Trey Hendricks. And you going to see and worry about the offensive side? Now, don't get me wrong. Cincinnati, you getting – they say that the offense wins, bring the money, bring the revenue, and I'm pretty sure, I think Cincinnati is probably thinking that if they went on ahead and protect Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow, you seen with the numbers that Joe Burrow put up last year, everybody wanted him to have some MVP consideration. So if they can protect Joe Burrow, then we can score more points. So if we can score more points, we can win more games, because we shouldn't have been out of those games. And it was like, nah, dog. You seen that I was struggling to get Lamar down because and you seen that he threw a touchdown after a bad play for real. He made a bad play into a great play to a freaking highlight reel. And you think that you're not going to get no help on this defensive side? So Trey, I think that's why Trey Hendricks said, you know what? Get me up out of here. Get me a trade. And you got to sit here and think, yo, he has the most sacks in the NFL in the last 2 seasons. That's more than J.J. Watt. That's more than Darnell Hunter. That's more than Myles Garrett. That's more than Michael Parsons. This man has 35 sacks in the last 2 years. And I'm not even a Bengals fan. I was like, damn. Yo, built like that, yo. I knew that he was a good edge rusher, but I didn't know that he was that guy. I didn't know that the AFC, I knew that the AFC North had the best edge rushers in my eyes. You got Myles Garrett, you got TJ Watt, and now you got to say Hendricks. Now Hendricks said, you know what, get me up out of here. But the Bengals said, well, go ahead. You can go ahead and we're going to grant you a trade. Go ahead, see what you can get. And Trey Hendricks is responsible for 48.6 of the Bengals sacks last year, dog. That is most by any team that is most by any player for any team in the NFL. Like, yo, my man is his name need to be up here and as one of the top edge rushers in the NFL. Deservedly. He need to have more talks about him. It shouldn't just keep on being Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, yo. Because clearly right now he's beating both of these guys in the last 2 seasons. And I'm pretty sure teams is gonna give up some money. And I'm pretty sure that's one team that I can almost count on who's going to get a bid on him. And I think that's going to be the Detroit Lions as well. I think the Detroit Lions is going to see what what he's asking for. The reason why, because they still want to not put too much pressure on their young edge rushers to come back so quick. They still feel like hey, we still just won another edge rusher away for having a top 10 type defense that can keep on giving Goff back the ball. Now, we just got to make sure that Goff don't give the ball back up. But I really just think that the Detroit Lions is probably going to try to get a bid on this one. And from the speculations of what I'm hearing the Detroit Lions are secretly being aggressive, trying to figure out, what they're asking for. But just like I said about Myles Garrett last week, if I'm the Washington Commanders, holla at him. He might be cheaper than Myles Garrett asking price. I'm just saying, you never know. The Cincinnati Bengals is probably like, oh shit, I didn't know that somebody was really going to want him, so I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. And just go ahead and shoot the trigger on that. You never know. So that's another team that I think that's probably going to take a look at Trey Hendricks. But this is also depending on where Joey Bosa goes. That's why I'm saying that Joey Bosa is also a key. And I'm also going to think that Myles Garrett and Trey Hendricks, they're going to be the back and forth type of, well, we should, or well, this is here, this is what this team, you know what I mean? So I just really just think that's what it's going to be. They going to the Browns and the Bengals are going to wait to see which person is going to bite for who first and which team is willing to give up what first. I think that this is how the scenario is going to go down. Once Myles Garrett asking price get put out there, or they seek to whatever he's asking for, I think that's what the Cincinnati Bengals like. Well, we want this. Or Trey Hendricks will be like, well, let's try to get this. I don't want to be here anymore. But in my opinion, I think somehow, some way, I don't see him leaving Cincinnati Bengals as well. I just really just think that Trey Hendricks might wind up staying there. All because of I just really just think that it's going to be a back and forth with him and Myles Garrett. And then now having Joey Bosa out there in the free agency. So I think that this is going to be a long drawn out scenario. I don't think that this situation or Myles Garrett situation is going to happen just that quick. I think that this is going to drag out through the offseason and potentially maybe sneak up to training camp right before preseason. But right now during this offseason, I just think that those two guys ain't going to get traded right away. I think that this is going to be a long wait. So I think that, like I said, this is going into the summer. This is not going to happen in the spring. This is not going to, I don't think it's going to happen overnight. So I just think that they're going to probably wind up having to play their contracts out and stick it out with their respective teams. That's why I kind of just think that one of them, it might happen to one of them. So we'll see. Time will tell, yo. Time will tell. Y'all tell me what y'all think about is going to happen. Y'all think that Trey Hendricks is going to wind up getting traded? Or do y'all think that he's going to wind up sticking out with Cincinnati and they're going to try to work something out? You feel me? So let me know in the comments, yo. All right. Talked about the NFL. We talked about DK Metcalf. We talked about Trey Hendricks. We talked about Joey Bosa. Now let's go ahead and switch it over to the NBA, the last segment of the show. You feel me? Now, the NBA, I know I just said that the NBA is a wash product. I just said that the NBA has been a little bit phony this year. I kind of stick to it, but it's been some highlight things that happen in the NBA, such as like the Luka Doncic trade, such as retirement jerseys getting retirement, such as everybody remember how Milwaukee started. Now look at how Milwaukee is playing now. Such as the NBA All-Star was trash. You know what I mean? It was just like everywhere for the NBA. And like I said, for me, I have now watched about 10 NBA games silently now, like fully games. Because now the NBA has been a little bit interesting a little bit. So I have been watching more games than I did previously in the beginning of the season. Didn't really watch it. But I have been keeping my eye out on certain players. And certain players who I felt like, this can be the year for them to win MVP. And I done seen on a lot of different pages that this guy, this 1 minute he's number one, then the next minute he dropped down to number 3, then he went back to number 2, then he went to number 1 again. Now, I didn't see that a lot of people is putting him at number 2. And my opinion, I don't think he should be number 2. And I think that this guy is going to wind up winning the MVP this year. And that guy is SGA, Sean Gildress Alexander. I feel like that this is his time this year to win MVP. I believe, in my opinion, I think that he should have won it last year. But, we got a lot of critics, a lot of people that felt like that Jokic should have did it. But I really think that this is the year that SGA gets it, and he has to get it. The reason why I say he has to get it, because number one, Shorty is balling. Like right now, he is number one in scoring. He's averaging 32.8 points a game. He is averaging 5.1 rebounds a game, 6.2 assists a game. He is shooting at a 52.6% in the field goal range. And his game is just too smooth, yo. Like, too smooth. Like, to the point that his game is so smooth, yo, he got the Thunder sitting at the number 1 seed again for the second straight year. Like, right now, they are sitting at 40. No, they're sitting at 51 games. 51-11. The second best record in the NBA behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. And y'all still don't want to put my guy in the top of the MVP conversation. So there's another reason why I think that he should be MVP. Hear me out. In this season, SGA has 11 40-plus point games. 11. The most, I think, the most in the NBA this year. The Thunder only got 10 losses, yo. 10 losses. And he got 11 plus 40-point games. He just dropped like a 50-something point game the other night. It's like, what more do we got to see from SGA? Now, I understand people are going to say, well, we need to see him take his team deep into the playoffs. The MVP is a regular season award. He's clearly the best player in the NBA right now, in my opinion. I think he is the best player. I think he probably, you can say that he is the most valuable player in the NBA. I think that if you take him off right now, if the Thunder doesn't have him, the Thunder is not the number 1 team. Now, granted, like I said, they got other good players there. They got good coaching there. But who else is the number 1 star there? If you gotta remember this, he only gets to the Thunder all because of that PG trade that sent him to the Clippers, and the Clippers sent him to OKC. And I know the Clippers is probably stomping their feet and kicking their ass now. It's like, damn, why the fuck did we give up SGA for PG, who we couldn't even keep? He wound up going to Philly, and he not even playing. And he talking about he's going to stop podcasting until he can help the Sixers win a championship, which we already know. I ain't going to hold you, Philly fans, and I know y'all don't want y'all to hate me. Y'all ain't winning the chip no time soon. So, the team that I feel like they can win a chip way more sooner is the OKC. And they only going to be able to do that is because of SGA. So, what else do we need to see from him? So, like I said, throughout the regular season, what else we need to see from him? Now, granted, he doesn't play all 82 games, and I get it. You know, he's already only played. Hold on, let me get it. Let me get the stats up for y'all. They played. Oh no, he played all the games this year. He played every game this year. 61 games. They're 51. Yeah, they're 51-10. So yeah, he played every game this year. So that means he is available. Now, the one thing I do think that SGA probably need to improve on is his 3-point percentage. He's shooting at a 37%. And in his career, he's a 35.5% shooter at 3-point range. But if it ain't broke, why fix it? He can get to the paint. And when he gets to the paint, that's when he's most definitely dangerous. He's a midi type player, so he can get to the midi. And we know when he get fouled, he is shooting right now at 89.8% free throw percentage. That is most definitely not. That is scary, yo. And right now he is almost at 2,000 points total this year. Almost there. So that's why I really feel like that SGA is my favorite to win MVP this year. I think that he should win it. I think because he is really evolution. He's starting to. He can be potentially talked about being the face of the league. And it kind of sucks that, another foreign player, can be the face of the league. But SGA, we always talk about Jokic being the face of the league. We always talk about Ant-Man maybe being the face of the league. We talked about, so many other different multiplayers of being the face of the league. What about SGA? SGA don't get into no troubles, no type of scandals. He stick to his business, stay to himself to the most part. He got a nice shoe deal with New Balance. You know what I mean? Like, I really just think that SGA should most definitely be, talked about being the face of the league. I really just think that SGA most definitely should be mentioned in the MVP should be number one in this MVP conversation. He should win it this year. He's going to have the better record. He's going to have the better stats. Like, don't get me wrong. Jokic is averaging a double-double. I totally get it. But we seen this from Jokic. And we also seen a player average a double-double and win the MVP. And I haven't really seen no growth from Jokic. Now, don't get me wrong. Jokic is probably, in my opinion, the second best player in the league. Arguably the second best player. You know what I mean? So I'm not, no disrespect to Jokic, but I just really feel like that SGA, this is his time, this is his year, and especially if he can take the OKC Thunder deep into the playoffs, show what I think that he probably will. In my opinion, I think that it will be a Laker and OKC in the Western Conference Finals matchup. Calling it. That's my prediction right there. Hot take. You feel me? So, and even if SGA get to the finals, I don't think the stage will be too big for him. I think that he'd be able to handle his money. I think that his game will most definitely be SGA's type style. So, SGA is my MVP for this year in the NBA, yo. So, y'all let me know how y'all feel, what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all think SGA should be MVP, or who do y'all think should be MVP of the NBA this year? Hit me in the comments, yo. So, as I went on here, talked about the NFL, talked about DK Metcalf trade request. We talked about Joey Bosa being released from the Chargers. We talked about Trey Hendricks being requested a trade from Cincinnati Bengals, and I also gave y'all a little bit of the NBA as I gave y'all my opinion why I think that SGA will be MVP this year. So I greatly appreciate to everybody who tuned in, who commented, who's going to also gradually tune in and also hopefully comment as well. I just appreciate y'all as always. You feel me? So make sure y'all go out here and share this episode. Make sure y'all go out here and tell a friend that could possibly be a friend that wants to be your friend. That MTMO Sports Podcast is the podcast that they need in their YouTube or in their sports rotation. You feel me? And they can go ahead and hit me on find me at on Instagram at MTMO _ sports podcast. And make sure y'all go out here and follow all of my social media platforms, as y'all can see on the bottom of your ticker. At my Instagram and TikTok is MTMO _ sports podcast. My X and Facebook is my THTS my opinion. Like I said, also follow Walk a Mile in Our Shoes, as also on all social media platforms, as what you see on the ticker as well. Make sure y'all go out here and support my spread shop, yo, where you can get your MTMO sports gear. You can get your hats, t-shirts, book bags, hoodies, a coffee mug, thermos mugs, even little teddy bears, you feel me, if you want to give to your significant other or your kids, you feel me? So make sure y'all go out here, hit me in my link tree where you can go down and find the spread shop link there, and then just go there and help me out, yo. Is most definitely some great stuff there. Like I said, you can get all MTMO product there, yo. Make sure y'all go out here and follow me on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for your audio podcast play. What else? I think that's it, yo. Make sure y'all go out here and support, yo. As I tell you about the Walk a Mile in Our Shoes, I do have a food drive that I will be helping the less fortunate, where me and my Walk a Mile Baltimore team will be passing out sandwiches, water bottles, and chips as well. So if anybody would like to volunteer, if you're in the Baltimore area, you want to volunteer, you want to help out, hit me on my Instagram page at MTMO Sports Podcast _Sports Podcast. What it is, OG? How you feeling, my guy? Make sure y'all go out here, hit me on my Instagram DM MTMO _Sports Podcast, and say you would like to volunteer for my next upcoming service, and we can most definitely swap information. Like I said, and I'm also looking to grow the Baltimore brand, the Baltimore part of Walk a Mile in Our Shoes. I'm also looking for people that's looking to participate in Walk a Mile events. So if you want to join our nonprofit organization, make sure you can hit me up. Direct you to the right site to where to go at. Most likely you're gonna be coming to me. Interview. We're gonna have like an interview process. Nothing too major. Just a couple of questions, and hopefully you can be a good fit for Walk a Mile in Our Shoes here in Baltimore. So I'm looking to grow to get more people onto my team. So looking to grow the team. If you're looking to want to join the Walk a Mile in Our Shoes Baltimore, and you're in the Baltimore area, hit me up, yo. So that's all the news I have. Y'all appreciate to everybody that tuned in, tapped in, commented, and everything. And I will be here next Friday for another dope episode, you feel me? So make sure. I appreciate that, OG. Always, man. One of my top guys, man. Always checking in, always tuning in, man. So, but anyway, make sure y'all tap in next week. Same time, same place, same location, you feel me? Got some things cooking up as well. Some new guesses, some new interviews. Got some things cooking up. So make sure y'all tap in, tune in. Make sure make sure y'all subscribe, and y'all get the notifications to all my content that comes out. You feel me? So I appreciate it for everybody that tuned in, yo. I see y'all next week, and I'm out.